So the patch 1.6 live stream just happened and wow, it looks fun. Bussin'. Today I want to talk about what was announced and what it means for Genshin, but I want to separate it into 3 sections: world, story, and combat. So let's start with the world. Genshin Impact X Wind Waker crossover! You know what they say, if you can't beat them, steal from them. But no, seriously, I was incredibly shocked by this and excited. The fact that we're essentially getting an open water portion to the game with the Archipelago is extremely interesting. As I hit on with my other video, the world of Genshin is incredibly diverse, and the devs have clearly made an effort to make the content feel varied. Adding a boat to this just further enhances this, but this makes me ask a question. Is this going to be a reoccurring element? Or will there be different vehicles for different locations in the future? It seems possible that the boats will be sticking around, at least for the rest of Inazuma, since the other islands to Inazuma were revealed and said to be far away from each other. I wonder if we'll have to traverse them by boat. And if so, does that mean that we'll get boat customization? I mean, seriously, how absolutely cool would that be? Let me know if you'd like that in the comments. Obviously, I have to mention the Archipelago itself, and wow, does it look gorgeous. It looks distinct, and it appears like there's plenty to do. In terms of content, there will probably be about as much or maybe even more than the Dragon Spine based on some of the shots that we've gotten. But I wonder if there will also be weekly quests here, like there was in Dragon Spine as well, so that it can keep the content alive for at least a little bit. Also, imagine starting this game in like a year and all of the content that you would have. Good lord. There also appears to be a wide array of events in this patch too, including fucking tennis, Mario Tennis! Once again, we're clearly getting some co-op centered stuff, but it appears it will just go away again. I'm making a video about how this game could improve its co-op, so look out for that. But these events look varied and interesting. I also love how we're getting another free weapon. It appears that we've entered into a cycle now with Genshin, something that I think we could predict. I believe that we've had a cycle now of a free character and then a weapon event and then repeat. First, we had a free official. Then we had the Festering Desire weapon, then we could choose a character in that Leeway Festival event, then we had the Windbloom Ode, then we had Diona, and now we're getting a weapon again. So obviously if this cycle continues, we should be getting another free 4-star character before we get another free weapon. It's very cool. And speaking of weapons, the new weapon banner looks awesome, but don't pull. Seriously. Do not pull. They're essentially pointless, and while they do enhance power, there is always a chance to get a 5-star weapon from the standard banner anyway, which we get a decent amount of free pulls for. Plus, the damage isn't so important that it gates the content of the game. Just never pull on the weapon banner unless they change it or you're like a Giga Whale or something. Finally, we have the Teapot update, which is super welcome. Having more of an open customization with the Teapot is always welcome, and I absolutely love how you can now have characters join you in it as well. I'm a bit worried about the load limit though. I mean, they did just increase it, but how much will these characters take up? And it looks like they're stuck to one area and don't really interact with furniture or what have you, but with the load problems, I can definitely live with that, I think. I really do like how they get companion experience though, and that they will have different types of furniture that they like and give you gifts and stuff. Like, that's all really cool. Overall, I think this is going to go a long way with making the Serenity Teapot feel really alive, and that's definitely welcome. The most exciting thing for me here is that we're getting another main story quest featuring Beidou, finally, but as well as a new character, Kazuha, and he looks fantastic. Not only is his design really great and bucks a problem that I listed in my last video over Eula, but his story also seems really interesting. It's clear at this point that they're really doing a lot with the fact that the Electro Archon has sealed off Inazuma and is taking away visions. I always thought that this was an interesting story direction that they could go in, but I wasn't sure exactly how far they were going to go on it. But through Kazuha, it appears that he's really not fond of Inazuma right now, so it will be really great to hear more about it from him, but also how the authoritarian rule has affected him as a person. Also, did he steal his vision? Is that what I meant to take from this cut? Let me know in the comments. Also, there's a small mention of a resistance at the very end of the stream. Are we going to join resistance fighters against a god? Because if so, that sounds really cool. Obviously, from a gacha perspective, the Electro Archon will eventually turn good so that people can spend that sweet cash on her, but from a story perspective, it sounds a lot more exciting to infiltrate the country, join resistance fighters, and fight off a god. What's interesting is that Genshin's main plot has focused a lot on socio-political relationships. Mondstadt and its relationship with the Fatui was central to Chapter 1. Liyue and their inner politics with the Qixing and the Adepti was really important in Chapter 2, and now Inazuma with a potential potential civil war and possible coup will probably be important there. I think they're clearly showing different governments and how they operate with what flaws come with each. I might make a video in the future about the politics of Genshin because I've got to use my poli-sci degree for something. Come on, anybody? Finally, I just want to hit on Jean, Barbara, and Klee. Wait, not hit on them. Klee's a child. And Jean and Barbara are women. I'm obviously gay. Well, for one, Jean and Barbara are getting costumes, which is absolutely overdue and awesome. I love the designs, and I love how we're getting Barbara's for free. It's really cool. I'm a bit bummed that Jean's is only with money though, but if there's anything in the game that I'm completely fine with being gated by real money, it's cosmetics, since they have no influence over the actual game state. And I wasn't sure from the trailer and stream, but it appears that Jean, Barbara, and Klee are only there because of an event? Is that an event story, or do they actually initially escort you through the archipelago? We'll have to see in the future, but I'm absolutely happy to see this, since it's the first time we've actually really seen characters leave their natural habitats, and I hope we see more of that in the future. Wow, is this patch good for those who are interested in the game's combat. Not only are we getting boat combat, I guess, which is, I guess, a new type of combat, we're also getting more difficult events and a new boss. The new boss, Magu Kinky, looks really interesting. It seems like he's immune to damage from a certain distance, which actually brings up some interesting questions. Are they testing things like this out for the Spiral Abyss? Because it definitely seems possible that the Spiral Abyss may have a floor or floors in the future where enemies are immune to ranged or even physical damage completely because of this. And I feel like that would be a really interesting challenge and change. The Legend of the Vagabond Sword event that they're adding that's purely combat focused looks a lot like the Hypostatic Symphony event. That being essentially just different bosses in the game but giving huge power increases. These are personally some of my favorite events in the game, and I think that they treat difficulty extremely well. They don't lock gems or really great rewards behind the difficult stuff, but still reward the player enough for doing them. Genshin has clearly figured out this formula, and it's obvious that the player base really likes it. Overall, this patch, it looks like a lot. It absolutely nails every aspect that I would want in a patch of Genshin Impact. It's got varied and interesting locations and events, more additions to the main story with the inclusion of a new character who seems deep, additions to the game state with the teapot and the boat, and combat-focused challenges that look like they will really test our parties. Overall, I think this may be the best patch that the game has released so far, and I'm extremely excited to try everything out. So what do you think? Are you excited for the new patch? And what are your favorite new features? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked the video, you can press like and subscribe for future Genshin videos. I also have another channel where I talk about games and anime more generally, and you can find that here on the end card or in the description. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to try out 1.6 with all of you who have subscribed.